Hello. I wanted to make a video where I was doing some testing of this in a makeshift wind tunnel in the garage that I've set up, but I couldn't quite get that far because I'm having problems with the servos. Being mostly a quadcopter guy, I've never really had much to do with servos, so I'm a bit puzzled as to why I would be having this problem. Oops. So we have, that's working, and I can do this all day long with these servos. These are the ones that I had in my previous video about this. And you can see maybe that the int V1, which is the voltage that is measured by the receiver there, is going down to about 4.8 when I'm moving the servos. Generally it's close to 5. And there's no problems, so I thought I would just be able to throw that in there like that. It's not stuck down or anything, but that's where it's going to go, like there. And I thought I'd just be able to switch over the servos and it would be fine, but so these are the servos that were okay. Hopefully that's going to be reasonably focused. And the ones that are not okay, we'll just give those a try now and show you what happens, and maybe somebody can tell me what I'm missing here, because these servos just don't want to do it. Just plug that in. Yep. So I've just separated the signal lead from the servo, and I'm using the receiver rails as the positive and negative rails for everything. It's quite convenient that way. So then these signal connections go on here, and this one goes on here. Just a second. So the only thing that's different here is that there's a different brand of servos, and they are of course connected to the ailerons. So let's just have a look at that. They're a cheaper brand. They've been working fine so far to fly the plane. And they're connected there of course, but there's not really a whole lot of resistance there. Almost nothing. Especially over here, because this flap isn't even really properly attached. And I'm going to demonstrate this with it sitting on the ground, and you may be thinking, well, the servo horn there is touching the ground, so it's a problem. But even if I hold it off the ground, it still does the same thing. Can you hear that? It's got a horrible buzzing noise, and I can move them a little bit, but then the whole thing just resets. Actually, it doesn't reset, it just sort of dies somehow. And the other slight difference is that this gets really hot. So the servos are obviously pulling a lot more current. Just try that one more time, and we can see on here the voltage is already way down to 4.67, 4.3, and I'm not even moving them yet. As soon as I try to move them a little bit. So yeah, it's a bit of a fail at this point. What I could do is of course put these servos in and see if that makes any difference, but I've glued those servos into the wing there, so I think what I'll do is I'll just wait until one of my other planes arrives that I have in the mail, and I'll just forget about doing it with this wing for now. And in the meantime, if anybody knows what I might be doing wrong there, or why these two servos would make such a difference, hopefully you can see that's Tower Pro Micro Servo 9G, 9 grams, SG90. And these ones are the same Tower Pro, but they're Metal Gear MG90S. So, is it just the servo brand? Do servos use different signal ranges? That might be something to do with it. I thought servos were always going to be from 1000 to 2000 microseconds range pulses that they use. I don't know. Anyway, that's all.